Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So let's just begin as we normally begin. So we can tuck our thumbs into our fingers, let our hands rest on our thighs. If you'd like, you can close your eyes and just take a moment to allow your awareness to settle into the sensation of your body, the sensation of your alignment within gravity. Just notice how you feel. And breathe into the shape of what you're feeling. Notice the focus of your mind. And whenever you're ready, you can bring your hands together. Rub your hands together, generate a little bit of warmth, qi. Take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale and shake it out. You can rub the palms together again. And then if you'd like, we'll just do a couple massagings of our faces. So you can go up and down a couple times. And then back and forth over the top of the head a couple times. Down the back of the neck, around the base of the neck, over the chest, and down to the belly. Okay. Let's see. So, Monday, May the 4th, may the 4th be with you. Monday was the first day of the first phase of summer. And so summer has begun according to Chinese cosmology. Summer is the season that's associated with the fire element. When we think about fire in nature, the big fire, we think about the sun. And so the sun is this source of radiant warmth. You know, sunny days are considered to be good days, days where you want to go outside and feel warm and move around and engage in the microcosm of our bodies. The sun is represented by our hearts. And so, again, someone who is very warm and very radiant, they tend to be, referred to as someone who has a good heart. And so just thinking about this is the energy that we're moving into. And if we think about the cycle of a year and kind of break that up into cycles of life, if we think about the spring as being new beginnings, birth, youth, like being born and growing up until you're, maybe 13, 14 years old. And then summertime would be that time where we're moving into adolescence, into puberty, becoming more of who we are as individuals. And so this is this time where there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of interest and joy and things like this. So these are things that are associated with summer. And so just to know that these are the dynamics that are happening outdoors, like trees are really popping, you know, birds and bees are doing their things. So just understanding that that's the energy that's going on around us. And so how can we harmonize with that? Or even how can we draw inspiration from that to help us to kind of feel a little uplifted, a little interested, a little more joyful. So that's just a little bit about the season that we're moving into. And again, every season has 6 phases associated with it. So this is just the first of 6 phases of summer. So there's a whole progression that we'll move through. But just to understand this idea of summer, of the fire element, of radiant warmth and joy, of growth, it's just, I think, again, if we can be in tune with the energies that are going on around us and outside of us in the universe, and then we can harmonize our own internal energies with those, that is really what Qigong is all about. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be practicing a form. One of the forms is a seated meditation form of Qigong. It's called 1,000 hands. And it's called 1,000 hands because we move through several different mudras. And so mudras are hand positions or even full body positions. The word mudra is often translated as gesture or seal, like we're creating a seal or even a lock for energy to move in a certain way in our bodies. And so a lot of these mudras help to open and to access the heart meridian. And the heart meridian, it begins in the heart, and then it emerges externally, actually in our armpits. And then it travels down the lower inside of the arm, and then all the way out into the palm, and out the inside of the pinky finger. So as we're holding certain mudras, I would encourage you to, maybe work with your pinky or work with opening up the center of your palm, or even just feeling where in your body these certain mudras bring your awareness to and what comes up when you're feeling certain things. Some of the mudras might feel comfortable. Some of the mudras might feel a little challenging. And so just seeing what comes up with that, seeing if you can breathe into the shape, into the sensation of the mudra. And again, just we can learn more about ourselves in this way. But this form tends to be very calming, very nourishing, very heart opening. When we think about summer and the fire element and heat and warmth, something that is very important is hydration, right? We want to make sure that we stay hydrated, drinking in fluids, doing things like this. One of my teachers likes to say the inner aspect of hydration is meditation. So using something like meditation to nourish ourselves, to hydrate our systems, to hydrate our nervous system so that we can remain calm and cool and relaxed amid all of the activity and the excitement as the sun is out and everybody wants to go outside and run around and move and do all of these things. So this is the first thing that we'll do, is the 1,000 hands sitting Qigong form. And then we'll do a standing form, which is known in Chinese as Buzheng Qigong. And Bu, that word in Chinese, it's actually the picture, the character is a picture of like stitching, like reinforcing something with stitching. So Bu means to like reinforce or to strengthen. And Zheng is the upright aspect of ourselves, that innate energy within us that wants to sit up straight, that wants to manifest our full potential, that wants to show up as well as we can show up. So we're reinforcing the upright, we're strengthening the inherent good within us. That's what Buzheng means. So it's often translated into English. This form is sometimes referred to as the vitality method, or again, the righteous strengthening method. And so again, as we're moving out into the world again, as certain states are relaxing their stay-at-home orders and we're going out and beginning to interact a little bit, one, we might feel a little anxious about that because again, with good reason, I guess. And so we want to be able to remain calm within that, because if we get really stressed and worked out and worked up and we're not breathing deeply and our tissues start to cinch up and get tight, that's not going to help our immune systems or help anything. And so we want to be able to remain calm, to be able to breathe lightly and slowly and deeply amid all that's going on. And then Buzheng Qigong, these exercises are really wonderful for helping to stimulate the lymphatic system, to help strengthen the respiratory and circulatory systems, which all benefit our immune systems, which all benefit our nervous systems. It's a very simple form. The movements are not complicated at all. And we'll do each movement for a little while, maybe even 5 minutes or longer for each movement. So we can really just drop in to a deep awareness of our bodies and our breaths and feel the movement and the effects of the forms and drop into a nice Qigong expanded state, which I think is a great place to spend a lot of time. So I think that's all that I have to say about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move back just a little bit and then sit back down so that you can see more of my hands, so that as we move through this mudra meditation, you can follow along. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so just find yourself in a comfortable seat. You can be seated cross-legged on the ground. You can be seated on a chair on the edge of your bed, just however is most comfortable for you. And we'll begin with the first mudra, which is called Diamond Mudra. And so we'll take one palm and place it on top of the other, and then let our thumbs touch. And just let your hands relax in your lap. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes. And with each of these mudras, if our hands are close to our body, they're not right up against our body. We want to have them just a little bit away, almost like there's like a little energy egg in the armpit. A little bit of space there, a little bit of chi. And in that way, we can engage the meridian, the heart meridian. We can feel a little more into our sensations. We can breathe into the shape of those sensations. And so just take a moment, allow your mind to settle into the sensation of this mudra. Diamonds are very stable, very strong. And the shape of this mudra is very stable. And each one of our fingers in this mudra corresponds to a different aspect of being. And so I'll list them, and it can be just a nice thing to contemplate as you feel into the shape of the mudra. And so the thumbs, one thumb corresponds to stability, one thumb corresponds to intelligence. One index finger corresponds to practice, and the other progress. One middle finger corresponds to tolerance, and the other to happiness. One ring finger corresponds to self-discipline, and the other to purity. One pinky finger corresponds to wisdom, and the other generosity. And you can see how each one of those qualities is dependent or interdependent with the other. When we feel stable, we can have access to clearer thinking and intelligence. And there's also an inherent intelligence within us that wants to find stability. It's hard to make progress without practice. And if we can have tolerance and kindness, tends to facilitate happiness. A lot of self-discipline practices ideally support and promote purity of the body and the mind. And again, there is an inherent purity within us that leads to a self-discipline. And generosity naturally arises out of wisdom. And the more that we relax and open and become wise and wisdom, generally, the more generous, the more open, the more relaxed we can be. The next mudra is called establishing the aura, and we'll do it 3 times. So you'll have a chance to really feel into it, and then we can spend some time in the shape of the mudra. So establishing the aura, as you're ready, take a nice inhalation, and as you inhale, let your arms sweep out in front and then up over your head, stretch. And then exhale, open the arms out around you to the sides, and then let them come to rest on the thighs, palm up. Take a breath or 2 here. So let's do that again. Inhale, the arms out and up. Stretch. And then exhale, opening the arms out, establishing the aura. Let the hands rest palm up on the knees. Take a breath. And one more time, establish the aura. Stretching and exhale. Let your hands come to rest, palm up on your thighs. Feel into the space that you occupy that extends beyond your physical body. We can call this space the aura. We can call it the electromagnetic energy field. We can call it the Wei Qi field. And remembering to be somewhat active in your fingers, in particular your pinky, opening up the center of your palm, keeping a little space in between your arms and your body, like you're holding an energy egg in your armpit. Breathing into the shape of what you feel. The next mudra is called assurance and protection. And I will mirror you. So you can take your right arm, bring it across your chest, and then the left arm can come across. Taking the outer arm, the left arm, allow it to drop down to the level of the lower dantian, palm down. The right hand can come up to the level of the third eye. So we have water in the lower dantian, yin. We have fire in the upper dantian, yang. And we'll mix the two. So the lower hand can come up close to the body as the upper hand drops down. The right hand can circle out and then come in to rest, palm up on the thigh, and the left palm can face out. Assurance and protection. Being active in the pinkies, opening up the center of the palm, breathing into the center of the chest, into the heart. Feeling the shape of the mudra. And let's change sides. So we'll take our left hand, bringing it across the chest, and then the right hand can come up to the left shoulder. And then again, the outer hand, the right hand can drop down to the lower dantian. The left hand can come to the third eye. And we can mix the two, blending yin and yang. The left hand can circle out and around, coming to rest on the thigh, palm up. The right hand can face out. Notice what you feel. Notice where in your body this mudra brings your attention. What areas might feel a little uncomfortable, a little challenged? What areas might feel open? Just breathing into the shape of sensation. There are many, many pictures and statues of different Buddhas and Taras holding this mudra, offering assurance and protection. So we can embody that energy of enlightened, awakened awareness. If you're noticing any areas, maybe in your shoulders, shoulder blades, necks, somewhere in your arm even that might feel, again, a little challenged, this is the qi, the yang energy that we're activating, working its way through the meridian and perhaps running into places where there's stagnation and obstruction. So continue to breathe and feel and see if things change. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Just notice what happens. Notice how you respond to what happens. And let's change sides. So again, the right hand can come across the body. The left hand can come across. And then the left hand can drop. The right hand can come to the third eye. And then we'll mix. Lower hand rising close to the body. Right hand circling out, coming to rest, palm up on the thigh. Left palm faces out. The next mudra, overcoming suffering. On your next inhale, take a nice deep inhalation and lift the right palm up. And exhale, place it palm down on your knee. As you do, you can turn the left palm in towards you, lifting the elbow slightly higher than the shoulder. And again, breathe into the sensation of this mudra. Just notice what arises. Notice what insights are there. And then we'll change sides. So the left hand comes across, the right hand comes in, right hand drops, left hand lifts. Mix water and fire, yin and yang. Left hand comes to rest on the thigh. And on your next inhalation, inhale the left hand up. And exhale, placing it palm down on the knee. The right hand turns in, palm in. And the elbow can lift almost as high or slightly higher than the shoulder. Notice what you feel. Breathe into the shape of what you feel. Notice the focus of your mind, the quality of your mind. Next mudra, sitting on the lotus. You can let your hands come down, and then you can cross your arms at the wrists and inhale the arms out and up like we did before. Stretch overhead, and then exhale the arms around and out to the sides. This time, let the palms face down towards the ground. Press down through your palms so you can root into your seat. And from that rooted downward movement, there arises an upward rebound through the spine, up into the center of the chest. So stretching through your wrists, maybe even turning your fingers to point back behind you so you can feel a stretch in your thumbs and forearms that extends all the way up into your chest, around your heart. Breathe deeply into the center of your chest and feel your heart blooming open like a lotus flower. Breathe into sensation. Use your breath to expand your breath. Use your breath to open your heart. Feel what's there. Next mudra, facing the truth. On your inhalation, you can inhale your arms out and up in front of you, and then exhale, the palms can face forward. And again, be active in your fingers somewhat, especially your pinkies. Stretch open. Feel the stretch in your palms, in your hands. The palms are an extension of the heart chakra, the heart center. The palms are the residence of the heart. Shaking hands, touching each other, hugging, holding. Doing all of that with heart, with awareness, with radiant warmth. Next mudra, returning awareness to the innate noble heart. So bring your index fingers and thumbs together. Bring the index fingers and thumbs of each hand together. And let your hands come back and settle at your heart center. And again, if your hands are collapsed in, see if you can bloom them open. Again, like a lotus, stretching the heart meridian in the hands, in the palms. Bringing the warmth of the heart, of the blood, all the way into the tips of the fingers. Increasing circulation. Breathe into the sensations that you feel. Next mudra, Buddha's teaching. And again, I'll mirror you. So we can turn the fingers so the right hand is on top. Allow the right hand to come up to the third eye. The left hand sinks to the lower dantian. And then we'll switch places with our hands. So the left hand rises, the right hand drops. And then we'll circle the hand. So leading with the upper hand, we make a circle. And then the left hand comes to rest, back of the palm on top of the right hand. We'll take our left thumb and index fingers, touch the right pinky for purity. And the right fingertips to the left pinky for truth. The left palm is facing up, so it moves up first for the next round. And then switch. Leading with the right hand, circling the microcosmic orbit. The right Back of the palm comes to rest on the back of the left. Taking the right hand, touching the left pinky for purity and truth. The right hand's facing up, so it goes up first. And switch, again, mixing yin and yang, fire and water, circulating the microcosmic orbit. Left back of the palm to the back of the right. Left thumb and index fingers to the right pinky, purity and truth. Again, left hand's up, it floats up and change. Circle, back of the right palm to the back of the left. Purity, truth. One more time on each side. Right hand floats up and switch. And circulate the microcosmic orbit. Back of the left palm to the right. Purity, truth. One more time. Left hand floats up and change. Circulate. Purity, truth. Return to the innate noble heart. Allow your awareness to settle into the sensation in your body. Breathe into the shape of your body. Next mudra, lifting the luggage off of our heart, lifting the baggage off of our heart, placing it to the side. And again, I'll mirror you. So we'll take the right hand and we can scoop up, taking the luggage off of our heart, and exhale, place it to the side. Just breathing all of the weight that we carry off of us. Just exhaling it out, placing it to the side. And after we've placed our luggage that we're unnecessarily carrying, now that we've set it to the side, the next mudra, a peaceful life, arrives. So we can inhale, sweeping the hand across the front of the body. And exhale, let the right palm rest on the thigh, palm up. Breathing into spaciousness, relaxed, nourished, open heart. Let's do the other side. So again, returning to the innate noble heart. And this time we'll scoop the luggage off of our hearts with our left hand. So taking the left hand, we'll inhale and scoop up. And exhale, place it to the side. Just letting it go, letting it fall away. When I was first learning this form, I loved this part. I would spend so much time wallowing in all of my luggage. And then one of my friends said, don't forget, a peaceful life arrives. Move beyond the luggage. And that was a great moment. So, a peaceful life arrives. Let's inhale, move away from the luggage. Let it be done. And exhale, left palm up on the left thigh, breathing. Light hearts, not weighed down. There's a story from Africa that talks about when you die, you go to a room where someone removes your heart and places it on a scale. And on the other side of the scale is a feather. And if your heart is lighter than the feather, then you get to move on. So let's breathe into our hearts, allow them to be lighter than a feather, open, spacious, free. And then we can return to Diamond Mudra. And when you're ready, you can rub your hands together. Take a nice couple breaths into your body. Just feel what it feels like. Feel free to massage your hands. And then let's take a nice deep breath in and shake it out. Okay. So now let's stand up and do some standing moving Qigong. Or if you'd like to remain seated, all of these movements can very easily be done while seated in a chair. No problem at all. So if you'd like to stand, you can stand. If you'd like to remain seated, you can remain seated, whatever your preference. I'm going to stand and let my feet wake back up. And so just take a moment, find a nice, comfortable standing posture. Your feet can be about hips width apart or shoulder width apart. And as we move through these different movements, you are welcome to adjust how wide your feet are, how narrow they are. You don't have to be welded to the ground at all. So let's just take a moment. Feel the sensations of our feet on the ground. Notice where your weight is. You might have weight in one foot more than the other, or your weight might be more in the front or the back of your feet. So just take a moment to notice, tune in, see what's going on. Allow your knees to unlock. You might even bend them a little deeper than you think you need to, and then come out of a deeper bend, finding strong, stable legs. And then noticing your pelvis, noticing the tuck of your tailbone, the arch in your lower back, the sensation of your lower belly, your lower dantian. If it feels like everything's just falling out the front of your belly, or if it feels like there's a little tone to the belly. Allowing your awareness to rise up through your spine, into your rib cage, into your chest. Maybe breathing a little deeper so that you can feel the movement of your ribs. And I would encourage you to breathe into the back of your rib cage. That's where most of your lungs are. Most of us tend to not use most of our lungs. Then we have what's called dead space, air, oxygen that never has a chance to make it into our bloodstream, or aspects of our lungs and our lung tissue that never gets used. It just stays crinkled up. So if we can breathe deeply and get all of those spaces to open up and to fill and to expand so that then they can contract. There's not only muscles that we use to inhale, there are muscles that we use to exhale. But often these muscles don't get used and then they atrophy. And then when we really need to breathe, it can be difficult. So let's get our lungs working well when maybe we don't even necessarily need them to work that well. It's like the old Chinese proverb, dig a well before you get thirsty. Cultivate health while you're healthy. If you wait until you're ill, it becomes more difficult. It might take a little longer. So breathing deeply into your rib cage, especially the backside of your rib cage, perhaps engaging your shoulder blades gently towards each other so that we can get a nice stretch and opening through our chests, so the collarbones can spread out to the sides and the shoulders can just drop down. Shoulder blades can move down the back of the rib cage, which can help us to stand up straighter, have more access to our lungs, give more room for our organs to do what they do, for the lymph system to be able to move and circulate. And then rising up through the neck into the head, perhaps inviting just a subtle tuck to the chin so that you can get a nice stretch down through the back of your neck, down in between your shoulder blades. You may even feel the stretch down to your tailbone, maybe down to your heels. And so we'll begin Zheng Qigong, the vitality method, or reinforcing the upright. And again, all of these movements are very easy. They're very relaxing, they're very nourishing. So let's begin. And how we'll begin is very easily. So the next time that you inhale, allow your breath to fill you to the point that your palms turn forward and you can open full. And then exhale, turn the palms back, the knees can bend, the chin can move towards the chest, the hands might move back behind you. And then inhale, straighten up, get full, the palms forward, the arms may even lift a little. And then exhale, breathing lightly, slowly, deeply. Inhale, palms forward, arms rise. Let the weight move into the balls of your feet. And then exhale, the knees bend, the hands move back, the weight can be more in your heels. And again, inhale. So this is most of the movement. So take your time to feel what it feels like. Move at your pace. Your pace may be a little faster or a little slower than mine. I would just recommend that you harmonize your movement and your breath. So as you inhale, the hands come forward, the weight comes into the balls of the feet. As you exhale, the knees bend, the hands move back. You can lift your toes. And then inhale, let the weight come into the balls of the feet, maybe come off your heels just a little bit. And then exhale, heels down, keep the balls of your feet rooted, but the weight moves more in your heels, your toes can lift. And then inhale. So just taking your time, allowing the movement and the breath to harmonize, which helps to relax the nervous system. Taking long, light, slow, deep breaths helps to optimize respiratory function. It helps to optimize cardiac and circulatory function. In short, it just helps to keep us healthy. If you want to modify this a little bit, make it a balance exercise, we can do that on the next movement. So the hands can come back. The next time you inhale your arms up, take a small step out. And then exhale, bring the other foot in just a couple inches. And this time, step out the other way. So it doesn't seem like much, but there's a lot going on here. Really helping to stimulate proprioceptive awareness, the awareness of our body in space. Helping to turn on the small muscles that stabilize the joints of the ankles and the knees, the hips and the lower back. If anybody has any difficulty with balance, with standing for long periods of time, this is a very simple practice that you will get a lot of benefit from. And it's not hard. You just have to do it. I think doing it is the hardest part. Probably the hardest part of just about anything is just doing it. Let's step out one more time. And then coming back to the original movement where we inhale, the palms forward, rising off the heels. And then exhale, knees can bend, toes can lift. One more like this. If you like a little more challenge in your life, when you inhale, bend your knees deeper, reach out with your arms and lift up. And then exhale as normal. And again, deep knee bend, reach far, pressing up through the legs. That'll get your heart pumping. So this turns this movement into more of a squat muscle exercise. Gets our bigger muscles working a little more blood pumping. More exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide with the tissues. Let's do 2 more. And just go down just as much as feels comfortable. It doesn't have to be too deep to be effective. And then let's return to the basic movement. Just inhaling, hands forward, maybe rising off the heels. Exhaling, hands down, toes can lift. 2 more. Take your time, breathe. Long, light, slow, deep. And then just exhale, let your hands come to rest by your sides. Take a moment to just stand. Feel the beating of your heart, the movement of your blood. Feel the area of your body that has been activated, maybe your thighs, your hips, your ankles. Breathe into those areas. And you might say, well, how do I breathe with my ankles? I would say your blood is carrying oxygen to the tissues in your ankles, into those cells, which each have a respiratory apparatus. So the cells of your ankles breathe, so you can breathe with them. Next movement. Inhale your hands up the front of your body, palms facing you. When they get to your face, turn the palms up, look up, and then exhale the arms around. Make fists with your hands. Press your fists together. Let your chin move towards your chest. Bring yourself out, and then inhale. Palms up, stretch. Exhale, arms around. Press your fists together. And repeat. As you exhale and make fists with your hands, you can make fists with your feet. You can scrunch your face up. You can wring your muscles out and then open up. Inhale. Fill yourselves up like a sponge. And then wring yourself out like a sponge. Using our muscles of inhalation, using the muscles of expiration, exhalation. And you can do this with a fair amount of force, but you don't have to. It can be gentle as well, nice and easy. Find what level of exertion works for you. Sometimes you can feel even more the less physical it is. Just explore, be curious, try different ways of doing things. Do what feels good. So this movement we've done before, I call it the lymphatic pump. The lymph system doesn't have its own pump, and so we have to give it some assistance. When we breathe deeply, that helps the lymph to move. When we contract and relax our muscles, that helps the lymph to move. When we get our heads below our hearts, that helps the lymph to move. When we are in a state of relaxation, that also helps the lymph to move. And the lymph system is essentially our immune system. It's where most of our immune cells live. It's how they get around. It's also where all of the viruses and the bacteria and the fungus and the metabolic byproducts, the waste products, it's where they end up. And we want our immune cells to be there to then eat all of that stuff and process it out of our bodies. But when we don't move and when we don't breathe deeply and when we just sit in one place for a long time, or when we feel tense and stressed out, then there's stagnation in the lymph system. There's accumulation of a bunch of gunk. Then it's like we've got a landfill in our bodies, or our bodies are a landfill, and that's gross. So let's move things along. Let's help pump things through so that we can excrete all of those things. And our body is designed to do that. It just needs some help sometimes. And our modern lifestyle is totally antithetical to helping those things happen, for the most part. But we all have this wonderful opportunity to take a break from that type of lifestyle and spend more time focusing on how we move and breathe and think and interact. So let's use this opportunity. And let's do 2 more. Last one, inhaling, filling yourself up. And then exhale, wring yourself out. On the inhale, come up to stand, your hands can float up. And then exhale, just let them float back down and relax by the sides of your body. Take a couple moments, breathe. Notice the sensation of your body. Notice the movement of your breath within your body. Not only the movement of the breath, but the movement of the blood, the lymph. Breathe deeply. Breathe slowly. The next movement, side bending, sometimes called wind in the bamboo. So let's inhale, get nice and long and tall, and on your exhale, lean over to the side and take your opposite arm, place it on your hip for stability, bend the knee on the side you're bending towards, and then press through that leg to inhale, come back up to stand, and then exhale over towards the other side, bending, micro bend to the knee that you're bending towards, and then use your leg, press through your foot to come back up, inhaling, and then exhale. Take your time, only go as deep as feels comfortable. You don't have to go into an area of discomfort for this to be effective. That may actually even be counterproductive. So we're not looking for any sharp edges. We just want it to feel easy and comfortable. Bending our spines side to side is a way that we don't always use our spines in everyday life. So if we think about neuroplasticity, of establishing new neural pathways that might help us to override pain signals, or might just help us to create a more complete map of our nervous systems, we need to do things that are novel, that are new and different. So that's why they say, if you want to enhance neuroplasticity, do jigsaw puzzles. If you don't do jigsaw puzzles, learn the tango, practice Tai Chi and Qigong. But as soon as it becomes routine, then it's good to switch it up, to do something a little different, to keep it fresh, keep it new, keep learning. The side-to-side bending also helps to hydrate the discs in between the vertebra of the spine. Our vertebral discs can get flattened out, get dried, They call it desiccated. And so when we bend side to side, it's kind of like taking your flat pillow and fluffing it up, creating a little more space in between the vertebrae for the nerves to move out, getting a little stretch and strengthening in the small muscles in between each vertebra. If you'd like to increase this a little bit, on the next inhale, bring your arms out to a T. And when you exhale over to the side, the upper arm can come over, the lower arm can stabilize against the thigh, still bending the knee, and then pressing up through the leg, arms out to a T, exhale, bending the knee of the side you're bending towards, stabilizing with your arm, and then inhaling, coming back up. And so if this feels good, you can continue on like this, or you can do the movement as we had started doing it. But just, again, take your time. Work with your breath. Stay within your comfort zone. One of my teachers, when he does this, he does it, and his head makes it all the way down to his knee on the side that he's bending towards. I mean, it looks weird, but it's amazing. And he's like 70 something. And wind in the bamboo is one of the names of this movement. The reason why bamboo is so strong is because it's flexible. You can take the top of it and bend it all the way down towards the ground, even if it's 60 feet high, and it won't break. In China, I've seen bamboo used to make scaffolding that goes up like 20 stories high. It's amazing to see. Let's inhale up to a T. And then exhale the hands down. Take a couple breaths. Notice your body. Breathe into the shape of your body. Notice the quality of your mind. Next movement. This next movement is a breath exercise. The breath pattern is sometimes it can feel a little counterintuitive, and it may be a little challenging, so I would just encourage you to work with it. And if it feels uncomfortable, just breathe in a way that feels good and sustainable for you. So the movement is like this. We're going to inhale the hands up to the face, and then exhale as the hands move up and out to the sides. And then inhale the arms down, continue the inhale all the way up. And exhale all the way around. And again, inhaling. You may finish your inhale before your hands reach your face. And then exhale, you may finish the exhale before your arms get out to the sides. And inhale. Holding the breath at the top and the bottom of the inhale and exhale is beneficial. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose is also beneficial. I'm exhaling through my mouth a couple times just so that you can hear it. but feel free to breathe through your nose exclusively. Last week, we talked about the benefit of nitric oxide, how we can generate it by breathing, holding on the exhale, inhaling through the nose. Nitric oxide sterilizes air. It's an antiviral. It helps keep the lungs elastic. It promotes the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide from between the tissues and the blood. Let's do 3 more full cycles. Take your time. Two more. Last one. Inhale the hands down, bring them up. And exhale. Notice how you feel. Notice the effects of just breathing slowly and deeply. How it can relax the body, how it can calm the mind, how it can invigorate the tissues, making us more vital, making us healthy. We don't need anything else outside of ourselves to be able to do this. We just need to do it. We are all capable of creating our own medicine. We are all capable of optimizing our own health. Not only the health of the body, but also the health of the mind, facilitating the radiance of spirit. So we've just made a lot of medicine. We've also, with the movements, we've helped to open up our channels and collaterals, get our muscles relaxed, get the blood pumping, the fluids circulating, so that the medicine can get to everywhere it needs to get to. So let's distribute the medicine. So let's rub our hands together. And we'll trace our meridians a couple times. So let's bring our hands over our heads and down the back of our necks, around the neck, under the collarbones, under the arms, and down the backside of the body. Take your time, nourish your body, distribute the medicine. The hands come up the front of the legs, over the belly and the chest, and then out each arm. Bring your palms to face you. And again, let's go over the head, around the neck, under the collarbones, down the backside of the body, Up the front side of the body, out the arms. Bring your palms to face you. One more time, over the head, around the neck, under the collarbones, down the back side of the body, up the front side of the body, out the arms, palms face you, and then let's inhale and exhale. And then let's give ourselves a little shake. So continuing to distribute the medicines that we have created, whether that's nitric oxide, whether that's choline-based neurotransmitters, things that help to optimize our immune system, help to elevate our moods, help to alleviate pain. Feel free to audibly exhale, shake however you want to shake, a little or a lot. Shake a little faster. And then stop. Big breath in. 2 more. Through your nose, in and out. Let's rub our hands together. Let's rub our faces up and down. Back and forth, over the top of the head. Down the back of the neck, around the base of the neck, massaging over the chest, down to the belly, around the waist, to the low back. Let's draw our hands out. And we can pat up one arm and around and down. Up the other arm and down. Down the back side of the body. Up the front. And again, around and down. And back up. And again, take a moment. Find your feet on the ground. Feel the top of your head open to the sky. Yin below, yang above. In between, we breathe. We're like the filament between yin and yang. Illuminated light bodies, water-soluble light particles. Breathe into the reality of that. That is what we are. All right. Well, that was fun. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you have any questions about anything, you're always free to send me an email or maybe even in the chat here, and I can always respond to you if you'd like. If anybody also is interested in any support, again, as life is kind of starting to get back to happening the way that it used to, hopefully with some modifications and some integration of what we've learned through all of this. If anybody would like any support, whether that's through Chinese herbal medicine or otherwise, please just let me know. I'm always happy to help however I can. And if you'd like a recording of today's video, you can also send me an email and I'd be happy to send you a link. Okay, so thank you so much. Please enjoy the beginning of summer, and I will continue to be doing these classes for the foreseeable future. So yeah, so have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you all again, whether virtually or in person at some point in the future. Okay, thank you all.